First things first, behind me you can see the mighty Jimmy Cyril and some geezer called Clough on the mural. It's the new Over the Road premise, and it's going to be a home venue for the visit of Jim O'Brien. We've sold over 100 tickets in the space of 12 hours. Jim is at the wheel again. The event will be on Thursday, May the 12th, 7 o'clock start. Get your tickets from Magpie podcast website. They're going down a storm, only a tenner. This is the venue, no excuses. In front of me, behind me, you can see there's the nav. So we're literally, as it says on the sign, over the road for Jim O'Brien on Thursday, May the 12th. Already over 100 tickets sold. Make sure you get yours now. Anyway, let's get down to Meadow Lane and the team news. Nice touch from Knots tonight. Collected the Magpie Circle Christmas card from reception on my way to the seat in the Pavis stand. We're proud sponsors of Matty Platt. One slight discrepancy if you're looking at the card as we speak. Yes, it's Matty Platt we sponsor. Unfortunately, he's spelt his name Tom Iorpenda. Other than that, it's a great gesture by the club. Team news is in, and there's positives and there's negatives. Both managers, Patterson and Warner, having to ring the changers tonight, both in terms of suspensions, injuries and possible illness as well. Let's start with the Notts starting 11. I guess the main news there is that there's no Scott Robertson. We think he's been sidelined with the flu that's ravaged the squad. Centre midfield, without our two normal first team starters, means that Iorpenda and Norburn are that central anchor midfield pairing this evening. And that debate about whether there is two up top, so to speak, well, there's no Tyrese Hall. Matty Dennis does start. Now, whether he will play in the 10 role rather than an outright two up top, we shall have to wait and see. Other good news is that Jody Jones and Rod McDonald, who've both been sidelined for a little while now, both were declared fit by Martin Patterson on Monday. They're both on the bench, so that does give Notts some good options coming off the bench potentially in the second half. Now, Paul Warne is not without his problems either. An independent FA disciplinary commission have today informed MK Dons that Jack Sanders, one of their key players, will start a 3-match suspension. That means he's not playing tonight. Of course, everybody wants to know about Naman and Crowley on their return to Meadow Lane. Aaron Naman is recalled, having been on the substitutes bench in the FA Cup 3-1 win over Oldham on Saturday. Dan Crowley, he doesn't start, but he is on the bench. So I'm sure Notts fans, every time he gets out of that little away dugout, will be greeted with a chorus of boos and a kind of pantomime villain role. Countdown to kick-off here at Meadow Lane, Notts County, Milton Keynes Dons. Notts know tonight, if they win, they go into the top 3 and into those automatic promotion places. However, in front of them, certainly on paper and spending budget, MK Dons are the strongest team in this division. But reality is they've only got a point or two more than Notts in the first third of the season. There will be plenty of changes on both sides tonight. The team news will be with you shortly. It's virtually a full programme of fixtures. Love a game under the lights. We've got Storm Bram brewing up a few westerly currents at the minute. It's a bit windy, not too wet. Temperatures reasonable for the evening. Looking forward to this one. It's the start of 5 games, all against teams in and around Notts, challenging for the automatics and the promotion playoff places. Of course, we'll all be totally governed by tonight's game, but I'm trying to look at this from a 5-game sequence of matches, twice against MK Dons, Grimsby, Chesterfield and Walsall. For me, 9 points or more happy days in the countdown to the new year and the opening of the transfer window. Notts do have that monkey on the back, don't they? Flat track bullies. These next 5 games, I think, under Martin Patterson, will tell us a lot more about the character, resilience, and the ability of Notts to get results in and around those playoff and automatic positions. No complaints about the entertainment value in the opening 45 minutes. It's 2 apiece, Notts and MK Dons. 4 goals inside the opening 26 minutes. Notts have twice been behind, but on both occasions have shown resilience to come back and level. MK Dons opened the scoring as early as the 3rd minute. Freedom of the park for Mendes Lang on Notts' left-hand side, slotted the ball one-on-one past Ruse. However, an even better finish came from Matty Dennis, 20 yards out, hit an absolute perler that ricocheted in off the inside of the top left-hand post. 1 apiece then after 8 minutes. MK Dons went back in front 5 minutes later. A hotly disputed penalty. Difficult to see exactly what happened. There was a goalmouth scramble. Notts didn't deal with it too well. And the next thing we know, the referee was pointing to the penalty spot. Up stepped Mendes Lang. Calm chip over Ruse. 2-1 MK Dons inside the opening quarter of an hour, and then an inexplicable poor header by MK's centre half, letting Jatta. To be fair, he still had a fair bit to do, but he applied the finish. 2 apiece. Iorpenda should have put Notts in front. Close range strike crashed off the underside of the bar. The referee has never been far away from controversy in this opening 45 minutes. Looked like Cerula had a stonewall penalty, went through one-on-one, but that one was waved away. 7 minutes of stoppage time were added. This is a decent game, good entertainment, end to end. Half time, Notts 2, MK Dons 2. Difficult to see how Bristol Rovers away could be topped, but in truth this came pretty close. Another great late show by Notts pushes them into the automatic promotion positions, up into second after a thrilling 3-2 victory over big spending MK Dons at Meadow Lane in front of just under 9,000 fans. In truth, MK were the better team in the second half, but we've spoken about the ability of Martin Patterson's teams to hang in the game. Hang in there for as long as you can, and then in those closing minutes, can you do some damage? That's what happened in this second half. A thrilling first half, 4 goals inside the opening 26 minutes. Aaron Naman, who should have had a red card in the first half, was substituted at the start of the second half, and really MK Dons had most of the play. Most of the game was in the Notts half, but those fighting spirit, tenacity, resilience shown by Notts. and MK Dons weren't able to find a way through. One in particular, a tremendous reflex save by Calrouz, was able to set Notts up into those closing minutes on level terms, and it was a goalkeeping mistake that opened the way for Notts with just a few minutes to go. Tom Iorpenda ramming the ball home from close range. Cue the entry of the pantomime villain, Dan Crowley, but even he couldn't, the little magician, couldn't find a way through the massed Notts defensive ranks. Great scenes at the end. This was a real battling performance by Notts. We've seen several of them, and I was interested to see how we would go through this 5-game series against teams all in and around the automatics and playoff places. We're off to a fine start. Patterson, I'm sure, will be delighted. Backs to the wall, maybe. Who cares about possession stats these days? We don't bother with those anymore. We bother about the final result, and that final result was Notts County 3, MK Dons 2.
Notts County, counties remain, football's the game.